guess what she started doing? Calling her friends. Metolius Angels, Bear, John, Karen, Ted Hogan. And then she called me, and she expressed her gratitude for all the help that she received from the caregivers and family that allowed her to be in paradise, or to be in that journey. Oh, she also called me, she also said to me, Nydia is weaning me from my wheelchair. Always optimistic, right, bro? On Friday morning, B.Mary said to Nydia, the birds are calling, more like an invitation to joy. Was kind of how she said it. On Friday, while visiting Sister Bear and the Metolius Angels, she said, I wish I could stay longer. I really have no need to go back. So Friday night, we had a lovely salmon dinner, and that night, I felt like we were surrounded by the angels of grace and peace. There was just a feeling of peace that was just unbelievable. On Saturday, some of B.Mary's best friends, I think we know who that is. I mean, as far as this, brought over this beautiful gourmet lunch that just had everything, right, Ed? Wonderful ribs. Verl had been planning the menu, and we talked about it for about a week. And Will said to me, oh, this is Verl's version of Kentucky Fried Chicken. We all enjoyed it, and it was this very special time. B.Mary, the main nourishment there, of course, was laughter, friendship, love. It was very special. So glad you guys were there. So she was very tired the rest of the day and was not able to speak until Saturday about dinner time. At dinner, we all shared some very spiritual thoughts. B.Mary wanted me to talk about her mother and her values, and I tried my best, but she was clearly in that mode. Sister Bear took out the guest book of B. Lee Paget and read what B.Mary wrote as a 12-year-old girl in 1941, July 5th, the last 4th of July before World War II. She wrote, I had a very nice time up here and wish I didn't have to go away. If she had written those words in the guest book this trip, she would have written the same thing. After dinner on Saturday night, we all slept silently. B.Mary spoke 2 memorable statements that night that we remember ended up being her last words. The first was, she spoke as if she was speaking to someone else in the room. She said, I am praying, as if her mother was asking her, are you praying? Are you sure? I can't hear you. And second, she said, I know I have to leave here. I'm getting ready. At around noon on Sunday, John Hogan visited. B.Mary woke up. Where's Martha? Martha Hogan, okay. She woke up enough to smile and acknowledge John. And later, Martha came by with her lab and to share that. And B.Mary was able to acknowledge Martha wasn't able to open her eyes. But when she mentioned her dog, Mackenzie, who she loved so much, she was very touched. And B.Mary needed her Hogan fix. She always needed a fix from all of you friends. Mary slept all day Sunday through Tuesday when she passed away very peacefully at 7:45 in the morning. Bear, Nydia, and I were there with her. She waited for the promise of the light, the promise of a new beginning, to finally let go. And her victory of faith over fear was complete. There was only one B.Mary, and we'll always treasure those magical times with her. So how do we honor how do we each honor B.Mary's life? I suggest to nurture authentic friendships whenever possible. Value fun for yourself and others, and enjoy God's joyous creation. Also, when there's a monkey on your back, do your very best to shake it. But in the end, smile, let go, and know that everything is going to be all right. So here is to B.Mary, to a life fully lived, to her victories, and here's to Bud, who honored B.Mary's freedom with a very, very long leash.
Thank you, Jim. That was great. And I'd like to take this time to have Nydia and Pablo and Alethea and Sister Bear come forward.
He's the only guy with the cowboy hat, right?
Sister Bear, fantastic. Please stand up. I wanted to introduce you all to B.Mary's caregiving team, who's been amazing, and Bud's. Wow, I've been emotional this whole time. So, Nydia and Pablo, well, first of all, and Alethea and her team of caregivers have given us a tremendous gift in this last year, taking care of Bea and Bud as family, and to have been there through this really hard year, making sure that her life stayed fun, and I just wanted to make sure you know who they are, because I thank them so much for the gift they have given us that has been an immeasurable gift. And I just wanted to make sure that if everybody could just give a big round of applause. We can all tell some fun stories, because B.Mary would love that, and I'm so glad that her brother Ed is here, and the Paget clan, because I really appreciate the fact that B.Mary was Inkster by marriage, but she was a full-out Paget by blood, and we all know that, very much like her father, who I never had the pleasure to meet, but she's, very much her laugh was, I think that we will all, if anybody thinks of B.Mary, we'll think of her just straight out gorgeous smile, but that big laugh, which was a Paget laugh. And, she was, I'm so grateful for her as a mom, to teach me a sense of adventure that is, that's the true gift that she gave me is the, I love you all so much, and you've all been my friends my whole life, and she taught me the value of a genuine friendship, as Jim would say, an authentic friendship that, really goes deep and through all the seasons of life, and that sense of adventure and just the joy of living and appreciation of nature. And when you think of B.Mary, it's hard not to smile and it's hard not to laugh, and what a gift she has given all of us, and just to be out in nature and having a good time. And one of the things B.Mary also taught me is important of always having a pet, and to be having a dog. And one of the things that I loved is that Bud, we can all agree, Bud has been a really good sport. So one of the things we would always do whenever we would have a dog that was getting in its senior years is we would make sure that we would buy another dog to never have to face that house of not having a dog. And so one thing we would do is we'd go out, back when everybody read the Oregonian want ads, we would get out the paper early in the morning and we'd circle, always had to be a golden retriever, and so, one time my mom and I went in and, Bud's like, all I want is a nice, calm dog. No, just want a nice, calm dog. And so B.Mary and I drove down to Eugene and brought home this spastic golden retriever puppy. The first thing it did, Dad had just spent this time and money, refinishing the hardwood floors. And so the first thing this dog did was tear through the house and skid across the hardwood floor. And he's just like, ah. But Bud was a good sport, and anyway, I really encourage you to come up, and we would love to hear your stories about B.Mary. So thanks for coming.
And Sophie, Lucy, Owen, do you guys want to come up? So next is B.Mary's grandchildren, my children, Sophie, Lucy, and Owen, who have a couple words to say.
Big grown. Crazy. I love it.
When I think of Grandma B, I just think of happiness and just such a joyful person. Because every time you would be talking with her, your heart would grow and you just feel warmer inside. And such a great memory I have of her is we were walking down the road and Tryon Creek Park had just been opened, and she was talking about the land they used to own there. And she said that they were happy that they gave it away because then other people could enjoy the same nature that she loved. She was such a generous person to be able to give other people stuff that she loved. And when I think of her, I just immediately connect her to nature, because nature is happiness, and she'll forever be in my heart.
Grandma B was somebody who not only cared about herself, but cared about every single person around her. She had so much compassion and understanding. She could relate to others in such a way that I know nobody else who can do it as well as she could. Along with compassion, she had drive and determination to overcome any bumps that came in her path. It was a few summers ago when she got her first knee surgery. Little exercise machines were spread around the Metolius. When we all went there as a family, she could strengthen her knee, but also spend quality time with us. Sophie, Grandma B, and I went for a walk that summer to strengthen her knee again. We walked along the path, and she told us about how nothing should ever stop her from doing what she wants to do. She told us this lesson, and also told us that whenever we want to do something, don't let anything stop us, no matter what the problem is. Every day I use this lesson she taught me, and I hope to never forget it. Thank you.
The night I found out my grandma had passed, I was sifting through memories of her in my head, and one particularly clear one rose up. It was an image of her laughing and the sound of her laugh, as my aunt mentioned before. I could just picture the way that her eyes would light up and her whole face would just spread into a smile, and she would let out this deep, heartfelt laugh that rose from her stomach. They say the first thing you forget about someone is their voice, but I hope that I never forget the sound of her laugh. It was such a joyful laugh, and the whole world just felt whole and together when I heard it. It was so full of love that I never forget it. One more thing about her was this other memory. I was looking through my jewelry box and I saw this bracelet and this pin that she had got for me last Christmas. She had, even with her poor health, and she could barely walk, but she went to Sisters and she bought me these things. Her generosity was unlike anyone I know. She was my grandma, and she'll never be replaced. I love her. Thank
you. Shirley, and then Nancy. And Nancy, if you'd like to come up, you can.
I'm Shirley Talixon. B.Mary is an awesome friend of mine. She has legions of friends, as you can see from this room today, and always could be found where the laughter was the loudest. I'll give you a little history of the family. The first time I met B.Mary was at Hoodoo Ski Bowl, which was developed by and owned by B.Mary's uncle Ed Thurston. My father had a lumber mill, a stud mill, or 2x4s, near Ed